I move to place in nomination the following name for appointment as a member to the Commission on Disabilities for a term to expire December 31st, 2009. George Russo, 33 Park Street, and I would add, Mr. Chair, where this is only one person, we could do it with just a regular vote.
I have a motion by Mr. Vino, second by Mr. O'Leary. Discussion.
Yes.
Mr. Vino.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Steve. Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Russo is going to be an added asset to the committee. He has attended, I know he's attended the meetings for at least a year or two. He is disabled, and he will do a fine job for us, and I'm glad to have him on board.
Thank you, Mr. Vino. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we have of appointments for the Energy Study Ad Hoc Committee.
This will be
Mr. Harris.
This will be for all seven. It's a 7-member committee setting up. Having not spoken to everybody, I'd still like to put all the names forward because they all put in specifically for this, and looking over all of their resumes and all their community activity records, they all seem qualified. One note I'd like to point out is Joseph Balicki, who's his Reading Municipal Light Department here. He's actually a member of, he's actually a resident of Wakefield. I don't know if that's a problem with everybody, but he would like to be a part of the committee because he feels that he would be a good liaison to the company.
I know Mr. Balicki personally, and I've had a lot of dealings with him, and I think he'd be a welcome addition to this committee.
Well, I think it's great to have someone from the municipal light, a member of the municipal light department on the committee.
And Joe's a good one.
And we also have Mr. Nelson, who I don't believe is Carl Nelson doesn't live in town, I think. No. But he's a member of the school department who has been very proactive in getting energy
consumer.
Well, Mr. Nelson has worked hard to reduce energy consumption in the school system.
And of course, there's Mr. Welch from the right.
So, with that,
Mr. Chairman, I move to place in nomination the following names for appointment as members to the Energy Study Ad Hoc Committee for terms to expire on December 31st, 2008. David Padden, 27 Tower Hill Road. Joseph Balicki, Reading Municipal Light Department. John H. Rogers, 39 Tower Hill Road. Daniel McInnes, 3 Surrey Lane. Noel Kelly, 33 Leland Road. Carl Nelson, School Department. And John Welch, member of the DPW.
I'll second that.
motion made by Mr. Harris, seconded by Mr. Dadino. We probably should do a roll call vote.
Well, it's a 7-member committee.
No, I'm just thinking, I don't think there's anyone that on the board that doesn't want to vote.
I don't
for
have
something.
any objections to anybody that's volunteered.
I don't
I gather, okay, we'll take one vote.
Oh, no, hold on just a minute, if you could, Mr. Chair. I did not see a citizens activity form from Mr. Noel Kelly.
No, I didn't see one from Mr. Nelson or Mr. Welch either, but that's okay with me. There was an email from Mr. Kelly.
There's an email from Mr. Kelly. Mr. Welch, I believe.
I don't have a problem.
Well, if I may express,
Yeah.
I do, because we have a process to fill out the
I believe I got one.
citizens activity record, and I would not be able to vote for Mr. Kelly unless he's done that. I don't think we should change the rules. We could do it next time.
So you're going to vote for Mr. Nelson and Mr. Welch?
Did they do a citizens activity?
I don't see it in our packet, but then I don't have a problem.
And members of our
Well, if you'd like me to come back with those 3 names next meeting, I could do that.
I would prefer that.
If you would prefer that.
Just to keep with policy and procedure. As long as we have the information, I have no problem.
I have no real problem with that. If you,
I mean, it's up to the rest of the board. I would prefer that we get them all and then we vote on them.
well, and Joe makes a valid point. We are requiring that form filled out for everybody.
so would you like to take a vote on the first 4, or just
Why
hold them
don't we
all off
just-
until the next time?
Just get the forms and we'll do it on the next time. So
I would rather see us, I'd rather see us appoint the people we have.
Yeah,
We're all set to
go on,
Okay.
it's not gonna change it, it's not.
And then come back and get you available.
All right, so-
Because then we can schedule a meeting between now and the next time.
Can we read the motion excluding those that we do not have?
Well, I tell you what, why don't we, again, I personally don't have a problem, put all the names forward, and if we want to do a roll call vote, we can, individual members can exclude the people that they don't want to do.
Mr.
Just
Mr.
make it
Vino has asked,
I have a
Mr. Vino has asked that we do it with the proper form. I would seek to Mr.
I think that would be
Wood's.
prudent.
We have a
Let's
policy
do
and
the four,
procedure in
let's
effect.
do the 4 people we have and then come back. We can schedule a meeting, invite the other people and just get their paperwork
Okay, so the
ready.
forms that we have are Mr.
Everyone, too.
Patton,
Mr. Penn, Mr. Belicki, Mr. Rogers, and Mr. McKinnis.
just draw a line through the other.
The bottom 3.
The motion before us is all 7, correct?
Should I reread it just before?
So can we amend the motion to remove those 3 and then make the vote easier? Mr. O'Leary?
For the chair, whatever you want.
All right.
That's-
So, the chair will move to amend the motion to exclude Mr. Noel Kelly's name, Mr. Carl Nelson's name, John Welsh's name from the motion, pending receipt of their citizens' activity. Well,
Second that motion?
yes,
I'll do that.
second by Mr. Dandino. On the amendment, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. On the main motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Access.
What we haven't talked about, of course, is the, and I don't know if we need a motion for that, but the idea is that Mr. Harrison and myself would be the members from the Board of Select. And that isn't stated here, but that was the.
The assumption was that Michael and you had
Liaison, Jim.
volunteered to be liaisons to this committee.
Right, okay, just didn't know.
Nope, you
Want
got
to
it.
make that clear.
You got it.
Make that clear, I want it.
We're not,
Lucky
you won it. Michael won it. So the charge is for the 2 of you to get things rolling. And maybe we'll have some impact for our forthcoming budget.
Let's hope so.
Okay, access to map 5, parcel 73 off of High Street. We asked the town administrator to have town council review this. Has that been done?
Actually, in this instance, Mr. Pierce has given you copies of easement agreements that he has obtained with some of the other neighboring property owners. This came from the meeting that you had with him back on October 15th. The board was desirous of information, wanted to know the status of other easements, and to this point, we have not heard back from council, but I wanted you to be aware of the fact that this information was submitted at the board's request.
Any questions?
Well, so we haven't heard back from council yet, but
Well, I'm not suggesting we move forward with
Yeah,
the motion.
no,
I'm just asking if there are any other questions.
else, actually, we got from council.
If I could, Mr. Chair. Mr. Valiakonis, do we give council like a date would like this info by? I mean, this was 2 weeks ago, and they haven't come back to us.
Well, we just received this information, these agreements, and until we received these agreements, I was in no
I see.
hurry.
Oh, I see, you sent these to town council.
That's what I'm saying,
Oh.
these just would have gone to town council, because without these, we're simply holding off.
Okay, okay,
So I'm anticipating for your next meeting, we'll have council
Yep.
come back with you with a recommendation.
okay. That's fine, thank you.
Okay, so did you make a note, and for sure we will review this at our next meeting?
I'm making a note of it right now.
I had asked to put on a discussion, another discussion on the municipal benchmarking. We had a finance team meeting on Friday, last Friday. It was discussed again, after getting additional citizens' input and thinking seriously about this, the chair's recommendation is that we hold another public session for municipal benchmarking, but not until the questions that were raised by our department heads and anything that came from on the school side. These department heads had an opportunity to sit down with Ken and go over the numbers and either get an understanding of where his numbers came from, or if they are truly an error, to get them amended via some form of amendment to the report. I had suggested at the meeting, and I think everybody at the meeting was in support of having a session, another session. There was a difference of opinion as to the timing. I had suggested that we do it either on our Monday night, the first meeting in December, or the second Monday in December, which was the school board's official meeting. The superintendent wanted to wait until after the holidays, first week in January, first official Monday in January after the first. There was some thought that maybe there wasn't enough time for department heads to get together with Ken and get those issues resolved before the first or second Monday in December. That was one of the concerns. And it was clear to all of us that those issues needed to be resolved before we invited Ken back to present the report in a public forum. So, thoughts, comments?
I mean, I see the, I can see the argument that says that is a month enough to get all of these ducks in a row, get everybody on board, and everybody in agreement. But I think that all of a sudden we put it past into January, and this becomes old news. So I think the way most agreed at the meeting was the idea of let him begin that process, shoot for the date of the 3rd or the 10th, and then see as we get closer whether we have to push it back. But I'd rather be aggressive. I think that's what we all agreed to, is to be aggressive, try to get it out fast while it's still in people's minds, rather than push it off and go after the holidays when people will forget about it.
There's also a misconception that I want to clarify. I mean, the purpose of obtaining this benchmarking was to aid us in taking a deep look at what we're doing, how we're doing things, making comparisons to other communities. And actually, we've been using the benchmarking report, even though it's not necessarily in the public eye, from the point of view of these issues that have come up. We've gone and used that information to dig deeper into some of the things. One of the things that was uncovered, and I think there was agreement on Friday, was that there was approximately, I don't remember the exact number, but about $700,000 in school expenses.
707,000.
That were not forwarded to the state, and that was the retirement benefits of our school employee retirees. Carl Nelson presented a document that basically broke down the various pieces that go into the school report. And that one piece actually starts here at Town Hall, gets reported to the school department, and then they put it in the report. So it was missing, which means if that money was accounted for somewhere in the process, it's currently was being counted on the town side rather than as a school expense. So, to me, that's a significant thing that was found. And then the other issues that were brought forth that Dave Nealon raised and the police chief in terms of having twice as many Department of Public Works employees than we really have. Those are some of the things that obviously need to be corrected. So, overall, I think, again, that it is a document that, if used properly, and it's not like saying, well, the town of